2 Kings chapter 12. In the 7th year of Jehu, Jehoash began to reign, and reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did that which was good in the sight of the Lord all this time that Jehoiada the priest taught him. But the high places were not taken away, for the people offered yet and burnt incense in the high places. And Jehoash said to the priests, all the silver of the dedicated things that be brought to the house of the Lord, that is, the money of them that are under the count, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that one offereth willingly, and bringeth into the house of the Lord, let the priests take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and they shall repair the broken places of the house, wheresoever any decay is found. Yet in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not mended that which was decayed in the temple. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and the other priests, and said to them, why repair ye not the ruins of the temple? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, except ye deliver it to repair the ruins of the temple. So the priests consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the decayed places of the temple. Then Jehoiada the priest took a chest, and bore an hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar, on the right side, as every man cometh into the temple of the Lord. And the priests that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. And when they saw there was much money in the chest, the king's secretary came up, and the high priest, and put it up after they had told the money that was found in the house of the Lord. And they gave the money made ready into the hands of them that undertook the work, and that had the oversight of the house of the Lord. And they paid it out to the carpenters and builders that wrought upon the house of the Lord, and to the masons and hewers of stone, and to buy timber and hewed stone, to repair that was decayed in the house of the Lord, and for all that was laid out for the reparation of the temple. Howbeit there was not made for the house of the Lord bowls of silver, instruments of music, basins, trumpets, nor any vessels of gold, or vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. But they gave it to the workmen which repaireth therewith the house of the Lord. Moreover they reckoned not with the men, into whose hand they delivered the money, to be bestowed on workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The money of the trespass offering and the money for the sin offerings was not brought into the house of the Lord, for it was the priests. Then came up Hazael king of Aram, and fought against Gath, and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. Jehoash the king of Judah took all the hallowed things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah his fathers, kings of Judah, had dedicated, and that he himself had dedicated, and all the gold that was found in the treasuries of the house of the Lord, and in the king's house, and sent it to Hazael king of Aram, and he departed from Jerusalem. Concerning the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And his servants arose and wrought treason, and slew Joash in the house of Millo, where he came down to Selah. Even Jazachar, the son of Shimeath, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomer, his servants, smote him, and he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Amaziah his son reigned in his stead. 2 Kings chapter 13. In the 23rd year of Joash the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz the son of Jehu began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and made Israel to sin, and departed not therefrom. And the Lord was angry with Israel, and delivered them into the hands of Hazael king of Aram, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad the son of Hazael all his days. Jehoahaz besought the Lord, and the Lord heard him, for he saw the trouble of Israel, wherewith the king of Aram troubled him. And the Lord gave Israel a deliverer, so that they came out from under the subjection of the Aramites, and the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as beforetime. Nevertheless, they departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin, but walked in them. Even the grove also remained still in Samaria, for he had left of the people to Jehoahaz but 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen, because the king of Aram had destroyed them and made them like the dust beaten to powder. Concerning the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz, and all that he did and his valiant deeds, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son reigned in his stead. In the 7th and 30th year of Joash, king of Judah, began Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 16 years, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, for he departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat that made Israel to sin, but he walked therein. Concerning the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, and his valiant deeds, and how he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Joash slept with his fathers. Jeroboam sat upon his seat, and Joash was buried in Samaria among the kings of Israel. When Elisha fell sick of his sickness whereof he died, Joash the king of Israel came down unto him, and wept upon his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen of the same. Then Elisha said unto him, Take a bow and arrows. And he took unto him bow and arrows. And he said to the king of Israel, Put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it. And Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands, and said, Open the window eastward. And when he had opened it, Elisha said, Shoot. And he shot. And he said, Behold, the arrow of the Lord's deliverance, and the arrow of deliverance against Aram. For thou shalt smite the Aramites in Aphek, till thou hast consumed them. Again he said, Take the arrows. And he took them. And he said to the king of Israel, Smite the ground. And he smote thrice, and ceased. And the man of God was angry with him, and said, Thou shouldst have smitten 5 or 6 times, so thou shouldst have smitten Aram, till thou hadst consumed it. Where now thou shalt smite Aram but thrice. So Elisha died, and they buried him, and certain bands of the Moabites came into the land that year. And as they were burying a man, behold, they saw the soldiers. Therefore they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. And when the man was down, and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived, and stood on his feet. But Hazael king of Aram vexed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. Therefore the Lord had mercy on them, and pitied them, and had respect unto them, because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them, neither cast he them from him as yet. So Hazael the king of Aram died, and Ben-Hadad his son reigned in his stead. Therefore Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz returned, and took out of the hand of Ben-Hadad the son of Hazael the cities which he had taken away by war out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father. For 3 times did Joash beat him, and restored the cities unto Israel. 2 Kings chapter 14. The 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoadad of Jerusalem. And he did uprightly in the sight of the Lord, yet not like David his father, but did according to all that Joash his father had done. Notwithstanding, the high places were not taken away, for as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense in the high places. And when the kingdom was confirmed in his hand, he slew his servants which had killed the king his father. But the children of those that did slay him he slew not, according unto that which is written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children put to death for the fathers, but every man shall be put to death for his own sin. He slew also of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000, and took the city of Selah by war, and called the name thereof Joktheel unto this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us see one another face to face. Then Jehoash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that is in Lebanon sent to the cedar that is in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife. And the wild beast that was in Lebanon went and trode down the thistle. Because thou hast smitten Edom, thine heart hath made thee proud. Brag of glory, and tarry at home. Why dost thou provoke to thine hurt, that thou shouldest fall, and Judah with thee? But Amaziah would not hear. Therefore Jehoash king of Israel went up, and he and Amaziah king of Judah saw one another in the face at Bethshemesh, which is in Judah. And Judah was put to the worse before Israel, and they fled every man to their tents. But Jehoash king of Israel took Amaziah king of Judah, and the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Bethshemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and the children that were in hostage, and returned to Samaria. Concerning the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did, and his valiant deeds, and how he fought with Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoash slept with his fathers, and was buried at Samaria among the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam his son reigned in his stead. And Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, 15 years. Concerning the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? But they brought treason against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish, and slew him there. And they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. Then all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king for his father Amaziah. And he built Elath, and restored it to Judah. After that the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, was Jeroboam the son of Joash made king over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 41 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the wilderness, according to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he spake by his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai the prophet, which was of Gath-hepher. For the Lord saw the exceeding bitter affliction of Israel, so that there was none shut up, nor any left, neither yet any that could help Israel. Yet the Lord had not decreed to put out the name of Israel from under heaven. Therefore he preserved them by the hand of Jeroboam, the son of Joash. Concerning the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did, and all his valiant deeds, and how he fought, and how he restored Damascus and Hamath to Judah in Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his stead.